Have you heard the news?
Definitely for the young folks here or the young folks that are going to be looking at this video later on our website, make sure to take advantage of these opportunities that are for people of color, because they're there for you. So instead of being in a big hurry to go to an HBCU that you don't necessarily, if you don't find all that free money, and now all of a sudden you're taking up loans that you don't have to take up, figure out how you can take advantage of what's being offered to you because of who you are. You're a person of color. So the University of Minnesota also has a program for juniors and seniors, right? That from coming out of high school, that's part of the PSEO program that they have. So you want to take advantage of all of these different opportunities. So then 2 years go by, you got all your programs out of the things that you don't have to. Then you go to your elective. That's your electives. You get your electives out of the way. Then you take your majors in the school of your choice. But take advantage of the earlier part for free. And don't try to look to make somebody else rich by getting loans to hurry up to go to something that's going to cost you. So to slow down, think about that, take advantage of it. We want an education, but why you have to pay for it if you can get it for free? Student usually has an idea on what major they're interested in, does HBCU, and you stop.
So, so for instance, I was just talking to a young lady, and she said that she had a major in animal biology. And I said, well, what schools have you been choosing? And she picked these schools, she named them out. And I said, well, does that school particularly focus on animal biology? So what about like when the kids are deciding and really don't know, exactly, they're just picking. Instead of going from school to school, what schools HBCU will be able to maybe lead them in that direction, like animal biology? You know what I'm saying? I don't know many schools, and that's any of you. Like
So more about the major than what schools have what majors. Like if you want to be a scientist, what would be the best school or HBCU to go to, or animal major? What she was saying.
So what I would suggest you do is go to a college fair. Like I know we have some representatives in the back today. They have college fairs everywhere, and a lot of them do have the HBCU component. We have one that we actually sponsor. It's huge. It's a St. Paul Public Schools Thinking Early College Fair. We have it every year in February. We have about 300-400 students that come out to that, and we coordinate that. And at that we have all of these. We have local colleges, Minnesota State Universities, and we also have about 12 HBCUs that are there. And what you want to do is you want to go to each one and you want to say, do you have, I can't remember what you said it was. Animal biology. Do you have it? Can I see your fact sheet? Take the paperwork with you. So now I know they have the HBCU Common App. I don't know if they have that information on there, but you really want to do your research. And that's one of the things that we do with the tour. Is when before we go on the tour, we have them research things. We have, what are you interested in? And we give them laptops, and we make them go on there in groups, and we make them research these colleges. What is the GPA you have to have? What do they specialize in? Because a lot of times, like I wanted to go to Spelman. And why do you want to go to Spelman? I don't know, I just want to go there. But I had to really think about I had to choose a school that had the major that I was going for, which was bio pre-med, that I ended up dropping out of, but that's another story. But because you don't want to go to a college just because it looks fun and everything like that. That should be your biggest reason, is because they have this animal biology program that's #1 in the country, or whatever reason. So I think that's really important, but a lot of people, they don't know what their major is. But if you do know what you're interested in, then that should help you to narrow down what college is.
That's right. You go to, if you want to be a rocket scientist, and you go somewhere after you graduate, you go to NASA to try to work for them. they're not going to get you if you don't have the most highest college accredited school. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, Annette. As it's privileged, when you have the HBCUconnect.com, this is an identifiable website that has all of the HBCU colleges and degree programs.
They were asked about the sororities. Anybody attend a sorority? They want to know, what was the experience? How, what did you have to do to get in? And what is it, a length of time? What do you do? That's what they're asking.
We had all night of Panhellenic, National Panhellenic fraternities and sororities on our campus, of course. And Howard University is, a lot of them were founded on Howard University, so of course we had them there. I personally did not join any or pledge any sorority because everybody was always suspended when it was my time, so it never happened.
They got suspended because they was too busy partying.
No, nothing like that.
And so I am a Delta Sigma Theta and DST, and what I would say is this is somewhat false advertisement, because I actually did not get into sorority when I was in undergrad. And I have one reason why I didn't is I had a jaded view at the time. I actually, my second year that I was at Clark, I showed up, my dad was nice enough to buy me a green Ford GT car, and it was a brand new car. I was super happy to get the car. But I got a colleague in the audience that I work with who is a part of Divine Nine as an AKA, and I wasn't interested in AKA, but they thought I was. And so when I got my car, it was such that it became such a story that she must want to be was a story. And the truth of the matter was that I was interested and inspired about just sororities in general. And because of just my desire to want to focus more on school, I opted not to. And then watching too, just people who were online at the time, it was really a good experience, I think, for them. And I think if you get a chance, I would suggest talking to anyone that has had that experience. I think Veronica, she's my colleague, and she could perhaps maybe talk to some folks and tell you some stories of her own, or whether it's hers directly or people that, in fact, she knows. But people got grounded in who they were, and so to have the opportunity to go to Historical Black College plus be able to pledge was there, a good, fulfilling experience for them to get grounded in who they were as an African American. The thing I would say from a pledging perspective in terms of the challenges that exist for fraternities and sororities, what's happening is that we're just, we'll have circumstances that will come up that will get us suspended that are either taken out of context or unfortunately something bad has happened. And so we got to get better. So what I would say is if you do go to college and you pledge, encourage your fraternity or sorority to do the right thing. And to make sure that it's really focused on what they say. So in the case of DST, it's about sisterhood, scholarship, and really supporting our communities. So if that's what we're trying to do, we should be doing that, and making sure that however we show up in the community, that we are doing it in a way that we are representing our sorority and fraternity, and also doing it in a way that we are representing ourselves as Black Americans. So with that, I think I'd encourage you to do it. If you're there and you want to do it, do it. It's a great experience.
Okay. Well, we are out of time, so I am going to ask each one of you to give us a closing remark. What do you want these young folks here today in the room to know about the rest of their life and the experiences that they may have with higher education? And what would you encourage them to do today? And Tonya, you have the mic.
I should take it, right? I was trying to be courteous and stall for time. That's a question to think about, in that there is so much in life that you're not going to know as I look at some of your young faces until you learn later in life. But one of the things that I would say that I think is most beneficial, and as I think about the experience that I had as going to historical Black college, or just college in general, is it set really the foundation for who I am and what I'm able to do. As we all have choices and we all can kind of go into different spaces, and it's all about, life is about choices. The education truly is the power of being able to make those choices. And so some of the things that you maybe heard from your own family and through generation after generation, that education is important, it's essential. And I can't tell you that I would not have been able to work at companies like Medtronic or Best Buy or Accenture or Ecolab. You know, all those companies are primarily based here. Dorsey & Whitney, which was a law firm. I would not have been able to do those navigations and get to the vice president role that I am in today. I'm confident of that. Tracy mentioned that that businesses look for higher accredited colleges. It is true. What I can say that historical Black colleges do for you is that it puts you on the mark as someone that has gone to historical Black colleges that some of these corporations donate monies to. So they are giving money to Fisk and Morehouse and Spelman and Clark, et cetera, et cetera. And so when they put that dollar out there, they know that when they look at your resume and see that you went to historical Black college, it's a school that they gave to. So that is a benefit as well, and something that you should be made aware of. And I'll end with, you maybe think you know what you're going to do, but it might change. And so just be patient with yourself, but don't use that as a reason to step out and get off track. Because that can be a distractor in and of itself if you feel like you're lost. The biggest thing is to identify different resources to keep you on track. And so perhaps you're taking a class that you don't like. That's okay. You're not going to like every class. But find some people that can help you get through that class, or find a professor that can help you think about what you want to do, whether it's related to the degree that you think you want or it changes into something else. And over time, you'll learn that once you go through all those hurdles and those steps, that you'll actually be able to achieve what you want to achieve. I didn't achieve it the first time around when I graduated from Clark. I got a political science pre-law, but that wasn't necessarily where I am today, right? So I'm not an attorney. But through conversations that I had, through employment experiences that I had, I still was able to use that degree. I like some of the earlier stories that you heard, I started out in accounting, then went into biology, then went into criminology, and then went into political science pre-law. And then when I went to get my master's, it was a business degree, and then I ended with an organizational development degree. Was fortunate through networking to be able to link those degrees to get to where I am today, in that, you know, I get to, like I said, create cultures. That's what organizational development is all about, is create cultures that really are effective and can be strong organizations. And collected with the diversity and inclusion work that I do, it allows organizations to be effective in the business that they are in, as well as making sure that they create a really good environment for people so that they feel like they belong.
A few pieces of advice. Number one is, while you're in high school, get a mentor. Junior high, get a mentor. Find somebody in your community that is doing what you want to do, and talk to them. And I mean, they get so honored. They're like, oh, you want, okay. So don't be afraid to ask them. Like, can you mentor me? Can you just give me some advice? Ask a professor, ask a teacher even, and they look out for you when they see things like, oh, I thought about you, and they connect you with things. Apply for those scholarships. I applied for scholarships, thanks to my mom and dad. There were like $100 scholarships, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. I applied to about 86 scholarships. In my first year, I had money left over. And I had thousands of dollars left over that I probably blew, but still, I had money left over because I applied for these little bitty $300 scholarships, $400 scholarships, a couple thousand scholarships. I hear from people today, oh, that one's only 500, and I need this one that's 40. I need $40,000 for this scholarship. So you have to just, I tell my husband that our kids, they're only 7, and we have they have other 7-year-old friends. I said I can't wait to have scholarship parties where we come over every other Sunday with our laptops and we provide snacks and we just sit there and apply for scholarships, because there are so many out there and so many people that I talk to, they're like, nobody applied for the scholarship. And it's not really their responsibility to advertise, it's our responsibility to look for it. So you don't want to be in debt as an adult. I know you're excited about going to this one school, see which school is going to give you the money and what scholarships are out there. So do that, and also just aim high. Just try to be the best that you can be, and don't be lazy. You know, work hard in high school, and when you go to college, just understand that it's not easy. It wasn't easy for anybody before them. Those that are walking around with 4.0s and degrees, it wasn't easy for them either. So it's not going to be easy for you. You're going to have to put in a little bit more time and effort.
I guess my advice would be, for all students, go to college. Even if it's a state school, if it's technical school, go, get a degree, get a certification. It really, really opens doors for you. Obviously, I'd also push PSEO. I would definitely want a bunch of people to apply to PSEO. And I think a last thing I would suggest is don't measure your success by other people. You know, don't sit there and say, well, my friend is doing this, so I should be doing this. No, you guys are totally different people. I remember when I was in high school, I had this friend, Hannah, she went to Yale. And I was so mad, because I got waitlisted at Stanford. And I was like, wow, I felt like I didn't succeed. I was like, well, I know, I did 2 years PSEO, yeah, I graduated as bachelor's in 19, and I still felt like I wasn't good enough, you know? And it's not about that. Everyone's life path is different. So don't try and put your, you might not be a square or whatever, don't put it in a different mold, you know? Don't try and say, oh, well, so-and-so is doing this, so I have to do it too. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. This is your future, and you don't know what better things will happen in your future. So don't try and compare your success with other people. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. So let's give all these ladies a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming out and sharing your wisdom with us this afternoon. I do know that somebody was letting me know that there's a money scholarship website, so make sure, we're going to list this on our website as well. Also, you mentioned a few things. Let me give you this first. blackexcel.org, that's BLACKEXCEC.org, corporate listing is what's on here. Also, mentors, I want to echo on that. If you find a mentor, engage in that mentor, because what's going to happen is they're going to open doors for you. They're going to introduce you to people that down the road are going to mean a whole lot to you. So start now, because they're going to say, when you graduate, come and see me. That is not just words in most cases. When you graduate, make sure to go see them, because they're going to be looking for you. They're going to be looking for you. They're going to be looking for you. They're going to be looking to open doors for you, because they want to be able to do that. So make sure to get a mentor, and then make sure when you graduate, you go back and let them know you graduated, and make sure that they are able to make that next step for you. Also, if you know of places that have free scholarships, as you're doing your research, please share them with the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. I know we don't want everybody to be lazy, but everybody can't find, everybody's not resourceful. So if you find it, instead of saying, oh, I'll let everybody find their own, send them my way, the information, and I'll make sure we post it on the MSR website, and that will help the next person to be able to we don't want to hear nobody else say nobody applied. So if we know somebody, let's share the wealth. And the way to share the wealth is you send it to me, Minnesota Spokesman Recorder newspaper. I'll make sure we put it on our website. It's available to the world. Anybody want to see it, they'll know how to get it, and we make it simple for them to be able to find that information. So let's do that, okay? So I just want to say this has been a very informative afternoon for me as far as the Black HBCU experience. I never went to the Black BCU. I went right here to Technical College, Metropolitan Community Technical College. So I was enjoying the journey with you ladies and also enjoying the journey with you through your program that I love to hear about. So thank you so much. Go ahead, just give them a round of applause. And also, we talk about scholarships. I just want to say that the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder does. Oh, let me just back up. I'm always ahead of my thoughts. So, who's graduating this year? Oh, good. We got a few graduates in the room. Let's give them a round of applause. All right. Well, for those that aren't graduating but know someone that is, and for those that are graduating, we are doing a program, and everybody should have it on the back of their program. The Minnesota Spokesman Recorder every year does a graduation celebration where it's free to all graduating seniors and 2 guests. And we have a program, we have music, we have entertainment, we have a keynote speaker, and we give out scholarships. So if you're interested in applying, and we're at the $5,000 to $1,000 level scholarships, go on our website, apply for a scholarship, but and we make it easy. We do not. One thing about me, I'm just always for just trying to help kids out. I don't. You don't have to have a high GPA. You don't have to write me a 50-page essay, but you do have to tell me who in your life impacted your school and what that meant for you. So, and then we're going to put the winners in the paper. So we're going to run your essay for the winners in the paper along with your photo, in addition to giving you a scholarship at the graduation event. So it's a really cool program. It's free again to attend, but it is invite only. You will be getting it through your school. If you don't get it through your school, call the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder newspaper. Olivia certainly knows how to do that. You can find out on here. Just make sure you take one of these. Anybody that's going to be graduating the year after also is invited. So we got the juniors invited as well. So make sure to go on our website, check all that information out.
Hey, have you heard the news? It's getting lots of rave reviews. A good time is waiting just for you at Sister Spokesman.